For over 125 years, Australia has come up with the craziest words known to mankind, but some of them are definitely better than the rest. So as an American traveler, absolutely confused by the Aussie slang, today I'm ranking all of them from worst to best. I bet some of that slang won't even make sense to you, but let's get into it. Because the rules are simple, only the ones widely used by the local Aussies, or at least it used to be common slang, only those would make it into the list. And first up, we have mad as a cuss name, aka someone is so irritated or completely out of control. Yes, kind of like the feelings you get when y'all hear people praising Starbucks. Was set to originate around 1900, when someone literally sliced an unfortunate snake in half, but the other half still wiggled around like crazy. Gosh, that is so disgusting. F tier. Next up, chuck a sticky, with a couple of other ways of saying it, like throw a sticky, pulling a sticky. But when you ring up your boss and say you're too sick to come into work, then you're chucking a sticky. But most of my Aussie mates only do that when they're too hungover from drinking too much the night before, which I totally get it, but come on lad, lying is bad. You go to F tier. Also, don't y'all on average get about 20 days of annual paid leave in Australia? Like, why do you even need to pretend to be sick? Can't you just say, hey boss, I'm too drunk to work, see you later? But that was only the beginning, with so much crazier stuff still waiting down the line. Boof head. Y'all can use it to literally describe someone with an oversized, massive head, or someone who's a little bit foolish or annoying. Mr. President, I think you have a boof head syndrome, which originated from a character who appeared in the Sydney Daily Mirror, a newspaper from about 90 years ago. Holy gosh, his head is massive. I feel bad for him. 8 here you go. Next up, you have flat out like a lizard drinking, for someone who is incredibly busy. S tier, I'm not even gonna explain. What y'all mean say that when your Aussie mate says he's flat out like a lizard drinking? Y'all wouldn't burst out laughing? Come on. But you guys also say that when someone is working crazy fast, like super efficient and stuff, y'all can also call it flat out like a lizard drinking. So I guess it's a good thing to say, and not like calling someone busy because they're too slow at doing anything. But even if you're flat out like a lizard drinking, y'all will still have time to give the good old sub button a smash so you don't become a boof head, bro. Chucking a Yui is a common phrase in Australia. I even heard it several times outside. When you're driving, but y'all gotta make a U-turn, that is chucking a Yui. I just hope someone named Yui wouldn't accidentally hear this and then think you're trying to do something to her. Beat, here you go. Next up is whoop whoop. Now, I'm sure most non-Aussies watching this, including myself, would get so confused. Like, what is whoop whoop? Y'all want to whoop someone, lad? But if y'all say y'all live in the middle of whoop whoop, that literally means y'all live in the middle of nowhere, which is like 90% of Australia. Let's be honest, mate. And you go next to whoop head in A tier. But it is where you draw the line of what is whoop whoop that baffles me the most. Like, let's say you live in one of those suburbs 1.5 hours away from the big cities like Brisbane and Melbourne. Would you still call that a whoop whoop? But y'all know what y'all never want to see in a whoop whoop. Well, what about a kangaroo loose in the top paddock when things ain't so right in someone's head, or if they're acting a little crazy, confused, coming to Australia only to drink at Starbucks every day, being a boob head. This is what you would call them. And the reason is that in traditional farming, a paddock is the place that is fenced off, and the top paddock is the one furthest away. So a kangaroo went missing in the top paddock. That can only mean something is broken, bro. And as to why that went on to describe someone being crazy, I have no idea, mate. Speed here. And following that one, you've got the 1 can short of a 6-pack. And that means someone is crazy, even a bit stupid and missing common sense. Wait, why are there so many slangs for calling someone stupid? Do your Aussie mates hate one another or what? Since a pack of drink containers things normally has 6 units, right? So if it's missing a can, that means something ain't right. And it's just a fun way of making fun of someone, and it gets an A tier. But one of my Aussie mates said that this can also be used when someone is talking big, like I can do this and that, but they don't have the skill or capability to match what they say. But I can't find it on the internet. So is he correct, or is he also a 6-pack missing a can? But nothing will be more insane than spitting the dummy. No, it has nothing to do with calling people stupid this time. But if you're overreacting to a small tiny issue, like someone forgot your birthday, call you a booth head, and you just go crazy, almost in an unreasonable manner, then that is spitting the dummy. Kinda like a baby spitting out the thing in their mouth. Let's give it a solid beat here. It's fun, but it ain't as good as booth head and whoop whoop. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Man, I really want to put this one in. It is literally the craziest chant I have heard in sports history. They say when one person shouts, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie at the crowd, the audience will always come back with a massive oi, oi, oi. But it can't be that easy. Let's give it a try. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Did any of you say oi? As here you go. But y'all would think that the chant this awesome would have been used in protests and political events as well. Like the USA could be used in all situations. But apparently you guys will ever use the Aussie, Aussie, oi, oi in sports, which is kind of a big surprise. But it ain't any more surprising than butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. There's no way any foreigner can guess the meaning by looking at it. Originally, I thought meant someone kept lying and lying. Yeah, kind of like those politicians, mate. But what it really means is someone who appears innocent and totally not a booth head. But in fact, they're two-faced, backstabbing, and a bit evil on the inside. But it actually goes back to the 16th century in the UK. And it's originally meant for someone being cool and stoic rather than being a lying booth head. So I guess the meaning got upgraded when it came into Aussie culture. I guess y'all can be a seed here. Up next, we have tradie, one of the most classic Aussie terms for a trade person or skilled handyman, like a carpenter, electrician, or plumber, etc. But what baffled me the most was that when you need someone to fix something up, do your Aussie fellas just say, I need a tradie? Who is the best tradie you know? I need them right now. Is that the case? Beat here sounds about right. Okay, this one is not supposed to be on list, but I'm not here to put socks on Caterpillar. It's too insane to be left out. It means y'all ain't here to mess around. One of my Aussie mates went to a local school, and the first day, I kid you not, the teacher walked in and just said to everyone, hey, I'm not here to put shoes on any Caterpillar, just to show that if y'all don't take the class seriously, you're going to fail it. But Caterpillars are so disgusting, man. Why would y'all put socks on that thing? I'm sorry, and here it is. And there's no way I didn't miss any of it. So if there's anything, a word, a unique Aussie way of saying stuff that you believe should be put onto the list, then you could put it down in the comments. As I assume you'll probably have 100 more Aussie ways of calling someone stupid. So looking at the ranking, we can all say the best thing to do is to be flat out like a lizard drinking for doing the Aussie Aussie oi oi. And you never want to be chucking a sticky if you're mad as a cuss name. But Aussie slang words ain't the only good thing about Australia. Because in this video, I want to talk about the one difference in Aussie culture that puts the entire USA to shame. And y'all totally want to know what it is, right?